Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy D Burroughs,
And your girl April Burroughs.
and you are now tuned in to the
Real
Real Spill.
spill.
Hey, man, first and foremost, man, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. Got a great episode today, first episode, so we're excited. And the one thing that I really wanted to touch on, to be honest with you, is how all of this came about with Meet the Burrows. Um, Uh, I haven't really told this story. I've learned to be very private. I have learned throughout life that everybody ain't happy for you, and no matter how long you think you've known someone, um, what's good news for you isn't always good news for everybody else. So for me, meeting April was confirmation. Um, I was already going through some personal stuff of my own, and for me, I had two very high valued people who just really caught me off guard with confirmation on certain things, and so I really had to take a step back off of my personal journey. And um, as I was on that, I actually ran across her just as random um, through social media, and didn't know each other. We had seen each other in passing, but never said anything to each other. And so, even as we became Facebook friends, still ain't really say anything. You know, just sharing Bible verses and different stuff like that on my story. And I noticed that she started reacting. And so I'm like, okay, cool. But at the same time, still don't know, what that all can mean. Because I mean, you don't never want to jump the gun on nothing. Long story short, I finally decided to reach out, and as I did, we actually started conversing. Great conversation, and of course, you don't never really know um, what's in store for you. So you just try to play it by ear whole time, just making sure uh, that you are where you're supposed to be or where you need to be at that time. So for me, that was the introduction to it, but more so the confirmation of what I needed um, going through my journey. Anything you like to add to that, ma'am?
Uh, I can agree. I feel like it was confirmation as well. Like, um, D is a great person, and to have met him was nothing but a blessing. Like,
I appreciate it. Yeah, and what see, like for me, like the biggest thing was okay. And even though I knew it was confirmation, of course, you still have thoughts like, okay, I did, like how this gonna look, how this may look, knowing knowing your truth, but just perception, and it's like, all right, how you go about it. And so for me, that was what I was battling with personally, because I had just got out of a relationship, and so for me, the perception was the only thing that I was really, caring about it. But it wasn't until I really had to pray about it and just move on because I have been in a situation for so long, you know, with good people, but I'm not supposed to be there that long. But I've been there because they're good people, and I know that they're good people. They're a safe space, or they're a safety net. And what I learned on that journey is that it ain't fair to me, it ain't fair to them. And really, through those lessons, for me, that was the biggest thing. Just ID. We ain't gonna do this again. Like this is the story of real life. Like you literally do this, and like you be cool, but in your heart, like and so for me, that was like the biggest thing for me. Like not worried about perception from other people, but then I know if I did that, I wasn't gonna be happy. I genuinely was not gonna be happy, and no matter how much I tried to convince myself, I knew that, and so I had to let go of people perception and just really focus on, all right, dude, you got to be selfish this one time, and you got to trust God. Like you can't pray about something, ask Him, and then when He do deliver, now you doubting if it's Him. And so I think that was my biggest thing, but I am glad that I was able to make that decision. It was hard, but I'm glad that I was able to make that decision because here you go, and we married now. So I just thank God for it, man. You know, um, like I said, I haven't um really talked to anybody because, like I said earlier, I'm learning that everybody ain't happy for you, and so you can mess around, and knock yourself out of a blessing. I used to always feel like, well, what's meant for me is for me, so how am I gonna knock myself out of a blessing? Although that is true, what's meant for you is for you. Sometimes your mouth, your mouth can outrun the blessing in hand. So like you gotta be careful, how you move and how you speak on things. What you think about it?
Agreed. I think my problem was in my previous relationships, I was choosing the wrong guys instead of letting the right guy choose me. Um, I was chasing behind men instead of letting the right guy come and find me. Um, God placed D in my life for a reason, and me and my kids are truly blessed because good men are hard to come by nowadays, and to have someone like D, yeah, I just really thank God for him.
I appreciate that, boo. And I mean, like, truth be told, like, I can't say nothing negative about my past. My past is what made me, um, and so I'm extremely grateful. And I thank God for you. I mean, like like being with you was just reassurance, reassurance of things that I was wondering about, and like you have to think about it. I come from a space in life to where I had no stability, growing up where you have a two-parent household, then that gets destroyed, and then life itself gets destroyed. So, like, you really trying to figure your way out, at 11 and 12 years old. And so, for me, stability was key. But you praying for stability, but you don't really know what it looked like. So like now you just start using your imagination, about certain things, or you watching certain TV shows or movies or whatever the case may be. But I can truthfully say I did not know what a stable household looked like until my isolation season a couple of years ago. And God just put me in a place spiritually uh, and mentally dealing with things, because I used to battle with depression all the time. Well, so it was a lot going on for me. Well, so when I piggyback on what I'm saying about being with April is that was just a reassurance that okay, this is what it feel like. Like this is what stability feel like, and this is what happiness feel like. Like I have a peace, that I really can't explain to people if they're not at peace with themselves. And Will Smith said something that was so key. Um, One time he was like, "Stop looking for people to make you happy." He was just talking about how we're in control of our own happiness, and that's true. Um, like I said, I didn't have a stable lifestyle. Like I was moving around, and so once I was able to lock in on what I needed and truly had to hold myself accountable because, like I said, I mean, you think about it, I can't say nothing bad about nobody because at the end of the day, everything starts and ends with me. And so for me, once I decided to grow up, everything else was just a matter of time. And so I can just truthfully say that God did his big one. Uh, it's a blessing. We definitely won't be talking about it too much more. Um, I just wanted to open up the episode with this because I know for me that somebody can use this. Me and somebody was talking about fairy tales, years ago about believing in fairy tales and stuff, and just um, just wondering, about true love and uh, love at first sight and stuff like that. Wondering if all of that type of stuff existed. And we don't really see that in the community, you know, and so really kind of hard to say. But I can truthfully say, without without a doubt in my mind, that this was one of one of the best decisions I ever made. I am extremely grateful, and I mean, man, listen, for me to be married, it is self-explanatory. Like I truly have found peace. I found closure to all the bad things that has happened in my life, but I found peace in knowing that this is the beginning of a brand new story, and I'm just grateful. She talked about the kids. Man, DJ will be 13 next month, so I was done. I was done. I was done. And so like God blessing me with bonus kids, man, and they amazing, man. They keep me on my toes. Lord have mercy, they keep me on my toes. And despite of, you know, what have been said or could be said, I love our family. Yeah, like we got a great blended family, you know. Almost looking like the Brady Bunch out here.
I
So
was going to say the same thing.
but yeah, nah man, it's a blessing for real, man. So, hey, God know what he doing. Cause God knows I don't be knowing. But I'm grateful for it, man. Married into a great family too, man. Great family, like very supportive, very loving. I love that. My family done strayed away so much from a lot of the stuff that we did growing up. So it's a blessing to see family knitted together and you know just being there for each other, man. Like I miss that aspect of my personal family, but I am glad to see that um with my in-laws or whatever. Like that's a blessing. That's dope to me. You good?
Yep.
So I do want to ask you a question, okay? Because this is gonna be interesting, right? All right. So with everything being said, I speak on my in-laws. What caught your attention about my mama?
I love your mom. Like that's my lady. Like she's so giving, so kind, just like me. Like I see a lot of myself in her. Like um she's so kind, will give you the shirt off her back. Like she's a really sweet, genuine woman. And that's what I love about her.
Yeah, and the crazy thing with that too though is I didn't even realize I was marrying an extension of her, and I just thought that that was very interesting. As far as like you said, like very giving. You know what I'm saying? Like sweet as she want to be. Now she mean as a rattlesnake if you play with
Same.
her. But but like she's amazing, and like so marrying an extension of her, it's like man, because they say boys first love how they mom. So I actually thought that that was pretty dope. Just looking back at it. Um, yeah, like I said, even with your mom, like your mom amazing. Like she got like the most amazing spirit. Like I always smiling, ready to laugh about something, just as silly as she want to be. Then your daddy, like he even kid, I can see the similarities with me and him because he be out the way.
Very impatient.
Hey, look, man, that's neither here nor there, man. What's important is that you understand, that hey, man, I 10 by 10, uh, but yeah, man, like he just real cool, real laid back. He out the way, and so that's what I really pride myself on. Especially growing up when you extremely popular and like you stay in the midst, you got a lot going on. Man, I can truthfully say, for me, my kids, and now being married, all that do is actually amp it up. You know what I'm saying for me, because I just really don't like being in the midst no more. And so being married really helps me out a whole lot, especially now that my kids done got older and doing their own thing. And so, hey man, it's a blessing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, what was when people first found out that we was married?
Hmm.
What was said to you?
uh, girl, you married? I ain't know that. But everybody that knows him came up to me. They were like, "You really married an amazing man." Like, yeah, everybody that knows him knows how good of a man he is. So,
I appreciate it for real. I appreciate it. It ain't always been perfect now, but hey, still ain't perfect. But yeah, man. I know that the cliche, is that um, all men the same, or men, a man gonna be a man. For me, I disagree because I'm of this mindset. I know that they say a man will change for who they want to change for. I'll take it a step further. A man will change for himself.
Exactly.
You gotta have some type of accountability, man, some type of responsibility. And I say that because I know what it's like to be manipulated. I know what it's like to be a manipulator. And so being held accountable with your feet to the fire, that's an uncomfortable feeling, boy. When you really have to look back and like you can't blame this girl or that girl for why you like this or what may or may not have happened. And you really just have to be able to look in the mirror at your own stuff and you really recognize how awful, how horrible, how embarrassing all of this is. And you have to take accountability for your actions. And you got to go before God with it. If you real, you got to go before God with it. And like you got to pray about that thing, man. But not only pray about it, but you gotta walk from it, gotta walk through it. Like man, there's just so much, man, that I've had to learn to even get to this point. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, Big Burroughs ain't perfect now, but he done had a lot of growth to even get to this point. So for everybody with the encouraging words and the um sweet things to say, I really do appreciate it for real because anybody who has known me, I ain't gonna say anybody that know me because the only people that really know me right now probably gonna change in a couple months because I'll switch that thing up in a minute. But I genuinely love, and that's really just the only way that I can put it. I know when everybody found out that we got married, anybody that know you, they was like, man, like she is amazing. Dog, I ain't even know y'all was together. you know, just little stuff like that, and it was just dope because I don't believe in just doing research on people too much. I genuinely do believe in trying to find out about a person for yourself because if you allow too many voices, too many input, they'll start clouding your judgment about a person, and so got to be very careful about that. So for me, um, being with you, I can truthfully say that it has all been worth it. I ain't saying that we perfect or nothing like that, but I think that we perfect together under supervision with God, because there is no way I am who I am without Him, and there is no way that you are who you are without Him, because
Exactly.
I see so much in you that let me know that you are led by Him, and so it makes it so much easier to even love you and to be a part of this amazing union. You know, um, I don't know when, but now one day they're gonna be calling you first lady. I don't know when.
I can see that.
I don't know when, but one day,
One day.
one day. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Um, is there any advice that you can give any young people? Because like we deal with so many young kids, in our life. Like we deal with a lot of youth. Is there any advice to any young lady that may not feel loved, um, that may be going through some stuff? I mean, because hey, we all have a past. So, is there any advice that you could or would give to a young lady who hasn't experienced love, who's seeking attention and seeking love?
My first advice would be to love yourself.
Hmm.
Um, you have to first love yourself in order for somebody to properly be able to love you. Um, I feel like um, if I can properly be loved, and like what people say, people or women with children who have children prior to the relationship, there's not many guys out here who would love a woman who has baggage. But I'm living witness that there's good men out here who will love you and your children just as well as God, just love you enough, just like God loves you. So yeah.
Yeah, I respect that for real. And but my advice would be for the young guys, man, just keep your head on the swivel, man. Like real deal, keep God first. Keep God first, man. Like stay out the way. Like you ain't gotta be in the midst of everything, you know. Um an idle mind is a dangerous mind. So stay involved in good things, you know, whether it be sports or whether it be a job or trade, whatever the case may be, man. Handle your business. Um, stay out the way. And like every girl ain't meant for you. You ain't meant for every girl. You ain't meant to be at every party, every function. None of that. The reality is that also if you hang with a clique of 10 in your freshman year, by your senior year that thing will drop down to about 4 or 5. By college that thing will drop down to about 2 or 3. In your adult years you will have a whole, well actually in college you will have a whole new doggone group of friends. Um and in adult life, like you'll actually be resetting. And like I mean, so for me, like stay invested in yourself, you know, because I promise you, I done seen it all, man. And uh, my boys, you know, like they are living witness to that. You know, we had these conversations, and I really think back to the group of friends that they had as middle schoolers and where they are now, you know, in adulthood. And then I think about DJ growing up, you know, and who he's around now, and just trying to find his way, you know, because I mean, hey, at this age, doggone these kids here, it's for real. So, yeah, man, just stay invested in yourself, man. Keep God first and stay out the way. That's the biggest thing, because like the old folks say, but especially since I'm the old folk now, uh, trouble easy to get in, hard to get out of. Take that with a grain of salt. Um, anything that you want to say before we dip out, bro?
No. I think you spoke it very well.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was wondering, you know, because I was like, well, I don't know, you know what I mean? Because I ain't just want to take over the whole conversation, you know.
Or you guys, I'm camera shy, so he speaks well enough for both of us.
And I actually appreciate that, because there used to be a time I ain't like talking at all. Didn't like talking at all. But I guess when you walking in God's purpose, you know, just like he did Moses, woo! My aunt told me that story when I was a teenager, and that stuck with me, you know, about Moses and how God used him. And so, man, like, I just stay encouraged with that. But we ain't gonna hold y'all up no longer. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. locking in. Praying that y'all have enjoyed this and looking forward to talking with y'all next episode.